Our very next speaker is a wonderful special guest, Andy Wade. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our history that some of you have heard before. But so from its beginnings, NAMI has had a very close working relationship with psychiatry. We psychologists were thrilled then in the fall of 2012 when NAMI gave us a speaking slot at the NAMI State Convention to talk about our prescriptive authority legislation. It's the first time that we were able to do that. There was much excitement from the NAMI consumer community about the prospect of adding more comprehensive mental health prescribers in our communities. Although NAMI could not support us during our lobbying efforts in our state legislature, much like the hospitals couldn't support us at that time, as soon as our bill was signed into law on June 25th of 2014, I made sure to call Laura Thomas after I called Clay. And Laura at the time was executive director of NAMI. And I said, I told her before we passed, I said, I'm going to call you as soon as we pass. I'm going to call you because we need to work together. So I have been involved with NAMI Illinois ever since. And because of Andy Wade, just about a year and a half ago, I was elected to the NAMI Illinois Board of Directors. So Andy, Executive Director of NAMI Illinois, you've also encouraged Dan Gillison, who's the National NAMI CEO, to speak to us. We had a big meeting August 6th that some of you were in Virginia. We talk about our international partnerships and to talk about our partnership with NAMI. And Dan was incredibly generous in his remarks that day and had written to Dr. Peter Smith, who's the prescriptive authority leader in Maryland, and he'd written to me saying, I am open to learning about ways to expand or improve access to treatments, and I look forward to hearing from you on your efforts. So it's so exciting now that NAMI, the most powerful grassroots mental health organization supporting those who suffer from serious mental illness, has now become a reliable partner for prescribing psychologists. I'm so very proud of prescribing psychologists' relationship with NAMI. And I attribute that to you, Andy Wade. I'm very much honored to have you with us again. The innovative and creative work that you do as executive director of our Illinois State NAMI. You joined NAMI Illinois in February of 2020, bringing 30 years of entrepreneurial experience in nonprofit leadership and consulting. Under your leadership, NAMI Illinois has applied an equity lens to launch several key initiatives, including our Architecture for Inclusion Workforce Project, a statewide campaign to reinvent the crisis continuum, and you've significantly expanded efforts to engage our state's communities of color, rural communities, LGBTQIA+, youth and emerging adults, and people living with mental health concerns. You have founded and led 2 organizations and served in leadership or consulting roles for many of the state's most respected agencies. I've been inspired on our board by you, by your dedication, your commitment to serve the community of those who are suffering from severe mental illness in our state. You are a Chicago resident, 6th-generation Illinoisan, proud father of 3 teenagers, 2 daughters and a son. I think I have it right this time. I have it right this time, okay. And so it's my great privilege now to honor Andy Wade with our special award, the Association of the Illinois Association of Prescribing Psychologists Outstanding Community Partnership Award. And let me give that to you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's so nice.
And now you're going to speak to us.
Oh, I'm going to speak to you. Okay. All right. Well, wow.
And I'm going to give you a microphone.
Okay.
So let's put this down.
Usually don't need a mic, but
Well,
for all these folks
for
out
all,
on TV
for
land.
all our remote listeners, and you're going to talk about how we can continue our synergistic partnership and the growth of NAMI that you've been so responsible for.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thanks. It's I've been here a few times now. I think the first time I came, I hadn't started yet.
Right.
And so that was part of the campaign, I guess. But I really appreciate, this is the 3rd time I've been here, and then that great party in Virginia with Dan, which was really neat. And I hadn't actually realized that NAMI, was sort of in this kind of straddling the fence, nationally. But I think we all know how it works,
Right.
And I think that it's been good to have a leader like Dan who's open to just thinking about things and being open. When I came into NAMI, it was after some hard years for that organization. So it was really down to they had lost all their staff at one point during the budget impasse of, if you remember that, the Rauner versus Madigan War.
Yes.
So we were kind of a casualty of that. So just getting back to functionality was sort of step one. But I'm really excited that over the last year or so, we've begun to actually get some traction for some of the stuff we've been trying to do. So some things were just passion projects. The inclusion stuff was, I had gotten involved because I'd worked with some folks on the west side of Chicago that were just blowing me away. And they were, this was an organization that worked with young people, and these were street intervention people that would go out and do, violence intervention. And they were some of the best therapists they had. So it was really clear to me that the talent pool in Illinois is plenty rich. And the talented people in Illinois are right in the communities of Illinois. So we could develop this. That's just what got me interested in this. So I actually met our DEI consultant who was doing testimony for you.
That's it.
A couple years ago, and she's been doing things for us ever since. One of the projects that we were working on that Leela is really a leader on is a new mentoring project that we believe is going. I don't want to jinx it by saying the name of the high school, but a school in Chicago, and it will be just a mentoring program, just to show people this is a predominantly Black community that mental health professionals can look just like them, and this is what you have to do to aspire to that. So some of the folks that I've met here are actually, I think was it Dr. Humphrey?
Brian Humphrey, yes.
Yeah, I think he's actually from that same neighborhood.
Yeah, that's right.
So he doesn't know yet, but he's going to get signed up. So I've always been just tremendously impressed having the opportunity to talk to people who are prescribing psychologists, especially in Virginia. It was nice because people were from all over.
Right.
Just the commitment to science, just the rigor, and just the very serious approach to caring for people. I think what appealed to me is if you look at where the gaps are in Illinois, there are gaps where we don't have enough psychiatrists. So in rural areas, children, mental health just generally across the board, and especially serving communities that maybe have not been adequately served over the years. So the talent's there, and the commitment's there, and it's just been very impressive. So. And Beth has actually been just a blessing to have on the board. We're rebuilding, and we're continuing to rebuild, and it's going to take a while. So we'll be around for a while. Yes. We actually just opened, or again, I don't want to jinx it because we are announcing in April our first new affiliate in a long time in the Quincy area, and so are really working to get back into Central Illinois. And kind of double down on Southern Illinois. So, the part of the reason for an equity approach is practical. You can't serve everybody without including every community. So, I'm just impressed by the work that you do, the commitment and the strategy. It's a very smart organization, and it's nice to have a kindred spirit. Working to open doors in Illinois. Yeah. So thanks, Beth.
Thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.